What's up guys, James here at SeekaHost, and today we're going to be going over how you can add yourself a free subscription payment for your website using PayPal. So if we head on over to my website here, you're going to see that you can choose subscription payments, whether you want 1, 2, they all differ, and you can have a drop down menu or single choices in themselves, and you can simply go ahead to PayPal and subscribe. Now this will cost you nothing to install, you don't need a paid plugin for it, and you can literally set it up within 5-10 minutes max, depends how many options you have. If you've got like one option, you can do it in like a minute. Adding it to your website's easy, so I'm going to be recommending this, and of course you can then run it through your PayPal. A couple of things that you're going to need here is you're going to need your PayPal in business. Switching over to business is easy and it's free as well, and of course a website. If you don't have a website, head on over to SeekaHost. You can grab yourself a domain for under £5 per year for your first year, and then domain for as little as £1 per month. Not only that, we also have started offering mailboxes, so you can get yourself 1, 5 up to 20 mailboxes associated with your domain, and they're super quick and easy to install as well, so check it out. Right, so first things first, we're going to log into our PayPal account, and of course, like I said before, you got to have it in business rather than a personal account. Now let's head up and actually set this up. So the first thing that you want to go to is you go to pay and get paid, and from here we're going to go down to PayPal buttons. Now you're going to get a number of choices from buy now, add to cart, sell on social. We're going to be going for subscribe. Now there is smart subscribe, however I've not actually tested this out yet, so I'm not going to recommend it quite yet, so we're just going to go for the simple subscribe option here. So it's going to bring you over to this page now. If we zoom in a little bit just so you can see what it says, we're going to choose what type of button we want. Is it a subscription, buy now, shopping cart, donations, and we're going to keep this as subscriptions. Time to choose an item name here. Obviously, as you can see, I've named mine depending on what the actual service is. For this instance, I'm just going to call this test because this is of course a test, and I'm just going to copy this over and put this for the subscription ID just so you can also recognize what it is. It is optional. And then we're going to move on to the currency. So obviously I'm in Britain, so I'm going to be using Great British Pounds. If you're using dollars or anything else, just go ahead and select the currency that you're going to be using or requesting. Now at this point you can choose whether you want to subscribe to simply one service. If you want to subscribe to one service, you're just going to put the amount in here. So let's say it's £10, and we're going to do the billing cycle shortly, but let's say it's one item, it's going to be £10 per month. We're simply going to put the £10 in here. However, if we want a drop-down menu with different options, we're going to come up to the customize button, and we're going to add a drop-down menu with prices options. Here, just go ahead and title it. Again, I'm just going to call mine test, but obviously do title this because this will come up on the subscription button. So if it's a subscription for a magazine, you know, make sure you write that down. Make sure you make them aware what the subscription is. You're going to get a little preview on the right-hand side as well. So let's start adding some options. So let's say, for instance, you've subscribed to some sort of gaming website which sends you 1, 2 or 3 games per month depending on what you pay. So let's set the first option to 1 game. We'll put per month as well. Obviously do make it so people do understand what it is. So we're going to set the amount for 1 game per month. It's going to be £10, and we're going to be doing this monthly. If you do want to change this, you can do this per year, per day, whatever. You can just change this to suit yourself. So let's just go ahead, fill in the rest of the 3. As you can see, I've got my 3 items, I've got the 3 amounts, and I've also got the frequency, and they're all going to be every month. At this point you can also add a drop down menu. If you go to an example here, it will also show you, will give you another drop down menu here. We don't need 2 drop down menus, so let's just make sure we click done on the top one, and let's cancel the bottom one. So we just keep the original one there. As you can see, test, it comes out on the bottom, so just make sure that you are titling it nicely in the description section here. You can also add another text field as well, to write something there. Maybe you might want their name or something, some other information, and you can enter the name of it there. However, again, we won't be using that one. You can also choose for PayPal to create usernames, passwords for customers. However, you do have to set up and you do have to modify some things on your server, so I'm not going to be going through that today. Personally, I haven't needed this so far. Obviously, they have a PayPal account, you have a PayPal account, so you can always contact them, check the information on PayPal itself. However, if you do want to do this, they do have the information to actually do this on here. Click, follow the link, and it will talk you through how you can install this on your server. So then when they make create an account, they'll also create an account with you straight away. So that is quite interesting, possibly a thing we'll do a video for in the future. Next up, very important, how long do you want the cycles to stop? And obviously depending on what you have, so if it's months, it's going to be 12 months. If you've chosen it in weeks, it's going to be 12 weeks. If you just want this to keep on going until someone cancels it, just go to never. Another really cool option is that you can offer a free trial period. It doesn't have to be a free trial period, it can also be a cheap trial period. So let's say you want for £1, they can get their first month or first week. We can do 1 week like that. That means for the first week it will only cost them £1. You can advertise this, special offer to get them actually onto your site, onto the subscription subscription, and then obviously the subscription will just carry on. For instance, if we do it for 1 week, obviously the 1 week will be £1, and then it will work out the rest for the rest of the month, because the rest of the month isn't £1. That's going to be your standard rate. You can also choose to offer a second trial period. I will be taking both of these off because we're not going to be using any trial periods. And again, you can then choose. I usually use my secure merchant account ID. I leave it as that. You can also use your primary email address. However, I tend to choose not to use my primary email address. It doesn't look quite as professional, so we're going to keep that as the merchant ID. Now you do have a few more options that I won't be using here at all, which is going to be track inventory, and also going to be customer advanced features. Again, do take a look at these in case you want to add any extra features. However, I'm not going to need them, so I'm just going to leave that, and I'm going to go to create button. Once you hit create button, that is literally it. You've set up your subscription already. As we can see there, you can choose what you want there. It's per month. It says 2 games, 1 game, and it also has the price as well. I probably could have written that better. It probably doesn't need the PM, but again, just spend some time making sure that you're making it perfect to suit your site, and it's really explaining and making it easy for the people to know what they're subscribing to. Now let's just make sure that we actually get this button on your website. So I'm just going to click this, or you can click select code. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to copy the code over, and we basically need to now log on to our website onto the back end. Once logged in, and of course you got your administrator panel up, so we're just going to go to edit. If you're not sure how to log into your website on the back end, it's /wp-admin unless you change that yourself. I do recommend changing it if you haven't already to something else, so people can't just guess that. Right, let's just go down to the bottom of the page, as we're just going to do a test here. Let's just do it under contact us. In fact, we'll do it on this bit here. So you've copied the code is in HTML. The very easy way of adding HTML, and you can do this a few ways. You can either you can go on to the right hand bar here on WordPress, and you can choose to code editor, and then you can add in the code that way. One of the easiest ways that I found, and you can also make this look a little bit better rather than stretching or going to the left or the right of the site, is starting up and making a column with 3, and then you can choose which one, and I usually tend to go for the middle. So the middle one, we're going to open this one here, and we are going to search for custom HTML. So let's get the HTML option there, and simply all you got to do is paste this in here. Once you paste it, we can go to preview, and it is there on your site. You can now choose, we can click that, they can choose what they want. Once they hit subscribe, that will take them to PayPal, and obviously they can then go through with the subscription. Now with that all done, let's just quickly go over one more thing before we finish this video, because obviously you have now learned how to make your subscription free, of course. Check for any charges from PayPal. They're not going to charge you for actually setting it up. Obviously, if you do have any other charges, check from actual PayPal itself for the subscription charges. However, this is a super good way to get started. Most other plugins that you need are paid for a subscription, or they do require some setup, whereas this you can do within about 5 minutes. So one more thing before I finish is if you want to create a similar button, let's say you're making a row of these like I had on my site. I had quite a few going up and down it. You can then go to create a similar button. This one right here will then bring you to pretty much the same template, and you can just change it around a bit. Or of course you can go to create new button. Last but not least, create an unsubscribe button. Do you want an unsubscribe button as well, so they can unsubscribe on your site rather than having to go through PayPal? You can also do that by clicking this option here, and it will also give you your HTML for the unsubscribe button. So thanks for watching, guys. I really hope that's helped. You can start getting your subscriptions in depending on what your service is, and really start to grow your business this way. PayPal is a very safe and effective way of collecting payments, and it also gives you lots of handy information about payments in, payments out, and what's going on with your account. So thanks for watching. Again, I've been James from SeekaHost. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We got a great amount of tutorials coming out for WordPress, PBNs, domains, everything website based that you might need to know, and more. So thanks for watching again, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.